Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Thursday, and we have some news to talk about. We got a couple of things to cover, but we're always going to cover first the miners, Bitcoin, Ethereum, see what's going on there, whether we're in a bull, bear market. We'll also take a look at the Bitcoin miners, like I said, and we'll take a look at Marathon. Finally, they are back on track as far as their growth is concerned. Got a lot of good news from them today, so we'll take a look at that. And then we also have Sphere 3D. We're seeing continued delays, unfortunately, with them, but we do have some good news from them as well. We'll get into that as well. So as always, not financial advice, so you guys know the drill here. I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Helps me out tremendously. All right, so let's take a look at the market here. So the S&P was down 1.02%, the Dow Jones was down 1.15%, and NASDAQ was down 0.068. No, it wasn't 0.0. It was 0.68%. Sorry. All right, on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is actually trending down right now. It finished out the day just a little while ago here at closed at 19,965. It did hit a high of 20,455. And we can see here we've had obviously 2 days in the red now. We had obviously 2 days in the green. We are right now still in no man's land when it comes to on the daily chart, whether we're bullish or bearish. We're kind of in the middle right now. There's no clear direction as far as which way we're heading, at least not yet. Now, if you look at the 1 hour chart, we can see that the RSI has been falling down. It's at 43 right now. And last time we were close to that was actually back here. Well, we were a little bit higher than that. No, we were about the same, 43. So right now it is looking like we're turning a little bit bearish on Bitcoin here. Price was a little bit higher here just a couple hours ago. It has come down while the RSI has stayed the same. But if we go far enough back, we can see we were back here right around this period, which we were still higher on price. So it's looking like it's turning a little bit bearish right now. We'll have to see if we get a reversal on it. It was looking a little bit bullish just yesterday. Now it's turned a little bit bearish. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Ethereum is at 1,351 right now. It's obviously was up on let's go to the daily here. It was down on the day as well. It was down 0.02% on the day. It closed at 1,352. It's doing pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin is, but let's take a look at the 1 hour chart here really quick and take a look at the RSI here. RSI is at 44. Last time, there isn't really any last time we were here. We were kind of possibly, we're still higher in price possibly. So Ethereum is looking a little bit more bullish than Bitcoin is right now. All right, so I'll have to keep an eye on that one, see how it progresses going forward through to tomorrow. Tomorrow's obviously Friday, and then we have the weekend, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so ANY was up 3.15% today to 45 cents. Argo was up 8.13% to 40 cents. BitDigital was up 0.82% to $1.23. Bitfarms was down 2.63% to $1.11. CleanSpark was down 2.4% to $3.25. Cores was down 2.55% to $1.53. DigiHost was down 4.1% to 77 cents. DMG was down 2.63% to 20 cents. Greenidge was down 2.65 to $1.84. Hive was down 1.72% to $4. HUT was down 0.97% to $2.05. Iris Energy was down 2% to $4.40. Luxfolio was down 5.54% to 6 cents. Marathon was actually up to date 2.02% to $13.10. I'm surprised that it didn't go up higher based on the news that they provided. Mawson was down 0.26% to 43 cents. Riot was down 1.24% to $7.16. Soluna was down 5.21% to $1.82. And Stronghold was down 4.27% to $1.12. Now let's take a look at really quick here how many days we got left until the next Bitcoin halving event. This does not seem correct. Reload page. It should be less than that. I think we are like at 530 days right now. I think last time we checked was a couple of days ago. Next is the total hash rate of the Bitcoin network. That has obviously, we're hitting new all-time highs here on it. Obviously with miners being plugged in for Marathon and others, we reached 248 million terahashes on the network here on the 7-day average. If we look at the raw values, we can see here that we've reached 282, which isn't our highest level here. But our highest level was, well, maybe it is our highest level, 282. Yep, 282. Our previous one was 281. So hash rate continues to increase, obviously. Okay, So that covers the miners, the market, and Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a look at our first story here, which is going to be from Sphere 3D. So Sphere is pretty easy to cover. There's not much going on there, so we'll get through this really quickly, and then we'll get into Marathon. Marathon's got a little bit more information that we want to cover into. So the company's production capacity is set to grow by 400% within the installation and activation of 2,946 miners released from U.S. Customs. So we've heard this obviously in last month's update as well. Not sure why these aren't getting activated. Production for the month totaled 11.06 Bitcoin, which is a little bit less than last month's. Total BTC holdings was 78.06, so they did sell a little bit here during the month. And CEO comments. So Sphere 3D made great progress in September, as previously mentioned. Well, I wouldn't agree with that. They haven't made really much progress, other than possibly getting more miners released from U.S. Customs. We successfully secured the release of all our S19J Pros from U.S. Customs. Of the 4,026 additional miners now landed, 540 are installed and awaiting energization. We expect the remaining miners to be installed beginning in early October 2022 and will be energized at Compute North's site in Texas. And obviously no time has been provided by Compute North, but we anticipate energization status update in the coming weeks. So not much of a progress there as far as increasing their hash rate or increasing their Bitcoin production. But I see them saying it for the second or third month in a row that they're working on getting the miners basically released from U.S. Customs is starting to get a little bit old here. Miners deliveries and petahash capacity. So activating the 4,026 miners shipped over the past 3 months should increase the company's production capacity by 400%, which is obviously good. And this will obviously bring the company's production capacity to approximately 500 petahash. They're at 100 petahash right now. They've been there since the beginning of the year. So obviously you need to see them start growing a little bit. And then their discussion with Fufu Technologies to renegotiate our September 2021 contract have been productive. We have agreed in principle on most commercial terms with Fufu and should have an update in the coming weeks on our final agreement. So that's obviously for the rest of this 6 exahash, or now 5.5 exahash, they are in communications about with Fufu Technologies. What else do we have here? I think that is it for them. Oh, down here, statement on Compute North's Chapter 11 filing. So Sphere 3D executives are in communication with Compute North regarding its Chapter 11 filing. Compute North has provided assurances that the filing will have no impact on Sphere 3D's mining fleet as they intend to continue operations as normal. So that's obviously a good sign there. Marathon's in the same boat with them as well. So we'll get into that here shortly. CEO remarks, there's not much there to really cover. Let's get into the spreadsheet that I do have on them, and then we'll go from there. So Sphere 3D, let's see, here they are. And the numbers that we have for them are as follows. They have about 62 million shares outstanding right now. Market cap is about 28 million. Current hash rate is at 100 petahash. Has been there for basically all this year. Future hash rate is supposed to get to 6 exahash if they can get the agreement with Fufu, get it basically better terms for it. Obviously, the miners have come down way in price, so that's what they're working on. They're obviously 1.67% operational right now from future hash rate. Future hash rate growth is about 5,900% because they still have a long ways to get to 6 exahash. BTC HODL is at 78.06, valued at approximately 1.5 million right now. Market to HODL to market cap is 5.32%, and each share has about 2 cents of HODL position right now. Stock price is obviously at 46 cents right now. Going to look at the production here, we can see here that they only produced 1.8 Bitcoin in January, 3.6 in February, March was 7.1, April was 12.3, May was 12.6, June was 12.19, July was 12.78, August was 12.78, and obviously they had a decrease here of 11.06, which is obviously a decrease of 13%, and that's basically based on the network difficulty increasing. So that is the contributing factor to that. They did sell, it looks like, possibly about 7.81 Bitcoin for about 154,000 in revenue on that one. And their efficiency went also down a little bit to 0.1106 Bitcoin per petahash compared to the prior month, which was 0.1278. And it does look like they were mining for a couple less days here in September. So for September, to get them to generate about $219,000 in revenue, We got them at 217, which is pretty close. They were basically operating for 25 and change in days. So they were not operating for at least 4 and a partial day or so on that one. Where they were operating a little bit more here in August, they were 29 days, it looks like, based on the numbers that we were getting from them. So that's obviously all the update we have right now. Obviously, we're waiting on all of these other tranches of miners to get installed here. That's if they get renegotiated with Fufu Technologies. And obviously, that's going to get them to 6 exahash. So still a long ways to go. Now, looking at the institution side of things, how institutions have been buying or selling, we can see that one institution has sold off. So now we have 33 compared to 34. And we've been seeing this kind of sell-off happening ever since May, since we started tracking them. We had 48, 46, 43, then 34, and now 33. So we started out at 16% owned by institutions. Now we're down to 10.45% and 6.64 million shares. We still have the same buy rating on them, and price target is still the same at $10 across the board here. So not much has changed there. Now, as far as the revenue is concerned for the quarter, it looks like they're going to be about 780,000 possibly. We'll have to see, obviously, how close I came to that, or I was pretty off on the first quarter, a little bit closer on the second quarter. So we'll see how close we can get that. We're obviously using the Bitcoin price, the average Bitcoin price for the last 2 months, August and September. July is we're using the end of the month Bitcoin price. So that's obviously going to affect things a little bit. Now, looking at their total production and revenue, we're looking for a combined total of about 2.7 million in revenue for the last basically 2 quarters and possibly this current third quarter. That would get us to about 50% net income would be 1.3 million and 75% net income would be 2 million. So we're looking at a stock price of 43 cents. They are currently at 46 cents, which based on their current revenue, they're pretty well priced in. Obviously, future hash rate and future performance, future growth, future revenue is obviously what's leading this a little bit here. People are believing that they are going to be going up in price based on once they get rolling on getting to their 6 exahash future hash rate. So right now, I think they're okay valued based on where they are. Obviously, once they start getting more miners in, I think the price should go up, especially since they're going to be mining more. They're going to be generating more revenue. That should help them increase the price here. And we're still using the PE of 20 on them. So that is it for Sphere 3D. It's a pretty easy one. Like I said, obviously want to see miners getting installed, want to get the renegotiations completed and miners to get delivered. So it looks like that's going to take them a while longer too. So we may not see all this stuff happening until maybe Q1 or Q2 of 2023. So we'll have to see. All right, that is it. Let's take a look at Marathon now. So Marathon has a lot of news here, and we'll get into it here. So during the third quarter, this is management commentary. During the third quarter, we sequentially improved our Bitcoin production as we successfully transitioned out of our facility in Montana and continued scaling operations at new locations, including the King Mountain Wind Farm in Texas. This was a quote from Fred Thiel, Chairman and CEO of Marathon. And then Marathon's active fleet currently consists of approximately 57,000 active miners, representing approximately 5.7 exahash. Those got turned on just in October, the first week of October. So we're not using those numbers in September numbers. We are using that in the October's numbers, which we'll obviously get more information next month. They do expect to continue building their hash rate in the fourth quarter as approximately 19,000 additional miners representing approximately 2 exahash per second are expected to come online in the next 30 days. So that would get them to approximately 7.7 exahash, which is a huge growth for them in the last 2 months. In September, October will be really good months for growth for them. And then we got obviously the note on Compute North, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So Compute North has been a supportive partner, and we respect this voluntary step to stabilize their business. Based on the information available today, we do not anticipate these proceedings impacting our current operations or our ability to achieve our primary target of 23 exahash per second in 2023. So that's actually pretty good news there. We'll have to keep an eye on it, obviously, to see how things go. We are in active discussions with Compute North's management and intend to closely monitor the progress of their proceedings. While we expect operations to continue as originally anticipated, our asset-light model provides us with the optionality to relocate our miners to other locations should the need arise. So obviously, They're already thinking about this or possibly even planning if there's something that happens with Compute North where they can't get out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy or something like that, that they are going to be looking for, obviously, other partners. Other partners might include Core Scientific. They do also hosting. Some of the other companies might also be willing to bring on their miners. Recent highlights. So as of September 30th, operating fleet consists of approximately 37,000 active miners, producing approximately 3.8 exahash. And as of October 5th, they're producing approximately 5.7 exahash and approximately 57,000 miners. And then they also have additional 19,000, like we stated above, to get an additional 2 exahash. They'll get them to 7.7 exahash. So, like I said before, really good growth here in the last month and possibly this month as well. They have benefited from a downward market price adjustments for the S19 XPs set to ship on October. Benefits from price adjustments expected to continue as additional XPs are shipped in November and December. So that is good. Total Bitcoin holdings increased to 10,670 BTC, market value about 207 million. And then unrestricted Bitcoin holdings were approximately 6,841 with a fair market value of 132.9 million. Unrestricted cash on hand was approximately 55.3 million, so that's good. And then they also successfully completed the exit from Hardin, Montana facility on schedule with all Hardin miners resold or redeployed. Proceeds from the sales of Hardin miners totaled approximately 47.5 million. So that's about 1,600 per miner or something like that if they sold 3.2 exahash worth, which is what they had at Hardin facility. Compute North bankruptcy, we already covered that. Only thing is Marathon's financial exposure to Compute North from investments includes 10 million in convertible preferred stock of Compute North holdings and 21.3 million related to an unsecured senior promissory note with Compute North LLC. The company has also paid approximately 50 million in operating deposits to Compute North entities. So they're on the hook for possibly, what is that going to be, 81.3 million? Roughly. Let's see if there's anything else. All right, so just a little tidbit here. So once all the Marathon's previous purchased miners are installed, approximately 66% of the company's hash rate is expected to be generated by the S19 XPs. Those are the 140 terahash miners. They're very efficient, which are approximately 30% more efficient than the prior generation, which is true. And as a result, once fully operational, Marathon's Bitcoin mining operations are currently expected to be among the largest and most energy efficient on a per terahash basis, which is also true. So they do have this obviously going for them as well. And I believe that is it for the updates. It is. And let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and we'll clear up some things here as well. Okay, so Marathon has 116 million shares out approximately. Stock price right now is $13.10. Market cap is 1.5 billion. So they have the largest market cap of all the miners that I cover right now. And I think it is warranted based on the current news that we have for them. Previously, when they were in the dumps in the last couple months, I didn't think they were worth this much, but they have obviously gone up in price because of their execution here recently. Current hash rate is at 5.7. It's actually at 3. What do we have them at right now? 3.8. The 5.7 obviously is based on the miners being installed in October, but we're looking at September. Future hash rate is going to be 23 exahash. Operationally, they're about 24% installed right now. Hash rate growth is going to be about 304%. HODL is 10,670 BTC, valued at 210 million. HODL to market cap is 13.73% of the market. And each share has about $1.8 of HODL position in it right now. So looking at their production here for the last couple of months, obviously good month here of 360, but it's still not their best month they had here, which was back in, looks like January. They had 462 Bitcoins mined in January. They went to 360 in February. March was 436. April, 299. So we're seeing this decline here. May was 267. June was 140, July was 72, which was their worst. August, they finally started turning things around a little bit, 184. And then obviously 360 here in September, which is good. We did obviously have with that Hardin facility in Montana, they went down to 700 petahash from 3.9. That represented basically 3.2 exahash of miners being turned off because of the problems they had at the facility. So with those possibly being sold off here, I am going to have to do some adjustments here on the numbers that we have for them down below. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But based on 360 BTC, their efficiency is 0.0947. BTC per petahash, which obviously with the huge increase that they have in hash rate increase, that's going to have an impact on their efficiency. Once that kind of stabilizes, we should see that go up. That's really what we want to see. But they generated about 7.12 million in revenue. They did not sell anything here. I'm showing you that they sold one from last month. I had them at 10,311 last month, and this time around, so I don't know if they sold one or if it's just a rounding error on my part or on their part, but we're just off by one BTC here on that one. I don't think they sold it. So looking at the numbers here, it looks like they have obviously a lot of machines here. One thing that I did miss, and I do want to thank the Twitter followers. They were able to help me out here, that they did report on April 11th that they bought 30 more thousand of these S19J XPs, the 140 terahash miners, which obviously got them to more than, got them up to like 27 exahash. But since they're selling the 3.2 exahash, which are basically all these miners up here, so these represent, well, that's a little bit higher. That's 4.5 exahash. Let's see here. Did I get that right? Let's see here. I have all these, yeah, and then these obviously get them to the 23 exahash right here. These over here are going to be taken out, I'm guessing, based on that they sold a bunch of them from their hardened facility. So that will leave us with obviously these miners down here. So I do have to make some adjustments here going forward, which I'll do that probably this weekend. Move the stuff down here. Get rid of all these over here. I'll leave them because they were in operation for a period of the year. But I'll adjust it down here going forward, so we know that these are going to be gone, and they're just operating with these miners over here, which is quite a bit of the XPs that they have here. It's going to be a total of 108,000 of these XPs, and it's going to be, 30,000 of the 100 terahash miners. So September, it looks like they were mining for about 21.8 days total. The new miners that we brought in here were the 1,052 of the 110 terahash miners, but those are going to be, like I said, moved down here into these. But these are just for the numbers. And then we had these miners here added 4,150 to get us to where they reported 3.8 exahash down here. We'll move all this stuff down, and these were obviously mining for only 20 days, and that equaled to the 7.128 million in revenue here. So we do have that, and there we go, so you guys can see it maybe a little bit better. So that is the update on the miners of what's going on with those guys. I did have a question, obviously, when I tweeted earlier today, since I wanted to know how many they sold, basically at what price possibly, and you guys were able to help me out there, so thank you very much for that. Now, institutions did increase a little bit to 307 from 306 to 47 million 20,000 shares, which was a decrease. Percentage owned also went down to 40.26%. We did also have a change here in the buy ratings, so we now have 2 strong buy ratings, 4 buy ratings, 3 hold ratings, and the price targets are pretty close to where they were. 35 for the high, average 19.66, and the low of $9. So that is pretty in line where it was before. And let's take a look at the numbers that we have for them for the quarters. So for the current quarter, it looks like they're going to be about 12.7 million roughly. We'll see how close we can get to that. Like I said before, we're using the average Bitcoin price for September and August. July is the ending Bitcoin price. And here's what we have. So the current quarter is 12.78 million. Last 3 quarters was 136.9 million. So that was pretty good there. Combined total is 149 million. 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at 74.8 million, which would be about $12.82. They are right now at $13.10. I think they are pretty fairly priced right now for what their revenue is. And if we use the 75% net income, they would be at $19.22. Seeing where the Bitcoin price is at, that's obviously having an effect on it along with electricity. I'm leaning more towards the 50% mark here right now. Obviously, once they start improving their hash rate, their BTC production, everything else, their revenue should go up really nicely here in October and November. We're really looking at, if Bitcoin just stays where it's at right now, difficulty and everything else, they're looking to make about 43 million right now in the 4th quarter compared to 12 million here. That's a huge increase. That's almost 3.5. It's like 3.5, almost 4x, and going up in the value on that. So as you can see, that's going to help them greatly going forward. And as that starts to happen, we'll obviously have better numbers here for them as well, where they could possibly get to 35. Their all-time high, 52 weeks, was $83.45. Bitcoin starts going back up. I see no problems for them getting back to that, obviously, if Bitcoin starts going back up to 50, 60,000. But that's highly doubtful that that's going to happen actually this year, possibly towards the middle or end of next year when we get actually closer to the Bitcoin halving event in 2024. So that's it. That's all I got. Obviously, a great quarter finally from them. They finally figured things out. They finally are getting miners installed, energized, and everything else. That is obviously good to see. They've had a couple months that were just crap here in the last, well, basically this whole year started out pretty good, but then it just fell apart for them with problems at the harden facility and everything else that just went down the tubes for them. So obviously a good month for them in September. October's going to be huge for them, along with possibly November. We'll see. So congrats to them. Nicely done on executing on this. This is what we want to see continuing forward. And that's it. That's all I have. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. I can't speak. I've been talking too long. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Helps me out tremendously. Spreadsheets available to my Patreon members. As always, thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Love you all for watching. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Until then,